Journalists have always faced challenges when needing to protect a source's identity. In 2025, these challenges have been increased. Allowing a source to be anonymous is a serious decision. If you haven't seen our video on that, check it out. If you're doing a story about something like undocumented immigrants, there's probably a good reason to allow some sources to be anonymous for their protection. Doing this high-level kind of journalism is not for the inexperienced. It requires training and wisdom. Before a journalist and editor make the decision to allow someone to remain anonymous, they need to think hard about how prepared they are to protect that source. It's not likely that a student journalist or their advisor would be jailed for contempt of court for refusing to reveal a source's identity, but in 2025, it's definitely possible. So before deciding to grant anonymity to a source, everyone involved needs to pause and consider how serious this could get. If you're not 100% committed to protecting a source's identity, don't use an anonymous source. That might mean you can't do the story as you had planned. The big picture is that you need to keep all your written and photo information that could be used to identify the source private. The old school element of this is that reporters' notebooks were kept somewhere they couldn't be found, even with a search warrant. So a reporter wouldn't keep their notebooks at their office or even at their desk at home. Today, notes can be on phones, computers, and on cloud servers. So how do you keep these documents secure? Let's start with cell phones. Step one is to turn off fingerprint or face recognition as a way to unlock the phone. That could be used against your will, so require a passcode instead. The other thing to keep in mind is that if someone asks to see your phone or asks you to unlock your phone, say no. They might apply a lot of pressure on you, but you need to say no. Using a school computer is definitely a problem, so avoid that for any sensitive work. The next thing you need to do is make sure you're not using an email account from your school. You need a completely separate way to communicate with sources that the school can't access. This also applies to things like Google accounts for Google Docs. Do not use any account that is connected to your school for this work. Create a completely unconnected way to keep notes and do communications. Using an app like Otter for recording and transcription might give the company a copy of your data, so avoid them for this kind of work. Even using your school's network to access the internet could open you up to prying eyes. That might mean you need to set your phone to not use Wi-Fi and to only use a cell connection. And it might mean that if you're using a private laptop, you connect to your phone's hotspot to access the internet instead of using the school's network. This might seem like a lot of effort, but if you're going to do a story where you really need to protect a source's identity, you need to make the effort. For the Scholastic Press Rights Committee, I'm Trip Robbins.